Sir Richard Faull no Ngāti Rāhiri, Āti Awa, was honoured with a korowai and a tokotoko last month, acknowledging his immense contribution to neuroscience and his efforts to bridge knowledge within Māori communities. Sir Richard is a distinguished Professor of Anatomy and Director of the Centre for Brain Research at Waipapa Taumatarau, the University of Auckland, and he's with us now. Tēnā koe te rangatira. Thank you for joining us.
You're a wonderful privilege to be here.
Well, this is one of the things that really excites me about the show, is being able to talk to just extraordinary people like yourself. So it's an absolute pleasure. So how did you feel about being acknowledged and honoured in this way?
Well, I felt just so humbled because, you know, this honour is the highest honour I could ever get. When you get an honour from the people, that is special. I've got lots of academic honours, you know, you qualify, you get these things, but when the people reach out to you and say, thank you, you matter, you know, what you do for us is important, and because I was brought up in a little place in rural Taranaki, and my mum and dad had the general store, and they said, look after the people. You know, that's what we're about, that's why we're on earth, and no matter what you do your very best for the people. Never forget where you come from.
You can't go too wrong. You've also been recognised for addressing the cultural sensitivities between Māori traditions and neurological research. What are some of the challenges that have existed for Māori?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the big challenges with medical schools is that when we train people in medicine, one of the important aspects of their whole training is that they get to look at a human body in their very early years. They get to carefully dissect and examine all the organs and all the rest of it. And when I became head of the Department of Anatomy in 1988, I found that our Māori students did not go into the anatomy lab. They didn't want to touch or look at the human body, and that troubled me. And so I sat down with them. I said, you know, how can I help you? And they said, well, you know, for Māori, this is tapu. And so I decided I then engaged with Kamatu and Kuia, who I got to know very well, and they were the guiding lights. And also, you know, it was my ancestors talking to me. So I'm Ngāti Rāhiri te Āti Awa, you see. I didn't realise, but they were pushing me down this road to say, you sort this out. And so I met with them and met with the Māori students in my office, and we worked out a way using what's called a whakanoa of lifting the tapu and blessing the bodies. Now, I'll tell you that in 2 minutes now. It took me several years to actually first get Māori, Kamatu and Kuia to come onto the medical school campus because, of course, we had dead bodies there, and that wasn't, you know, they didn't want to come. But I got two wonderful people, you know, Kamatu, Elu Thompson, and Kuia Te Kanga Skipper. And we gradually worked with a small number of Māori students at that time, and we developed, first we would talk, and then we would go up to the laboratory, the human laboratory, and we would do a whakanoa ceremony in Māori, which lifted the tapu and blessed the bodies. As the word got round, you see, we were doing this. The Pacifica students wanted to join us, but then the other students, after a couple of years, they said, why is this just for Māori and Pacifica? And so now, you see, this has become an accepted, not only accepted, but it's actually part of the curriculum. It's the very first thing they do. So we start off each year in the medical school with the first whakanoa. And it is the most wonderful, moving ceremony, and it brings people to tears. And we turn this whole we turn the challenge into an opportunity, into a special occasion, because it's the most wonderful privilege to actually work on a human body which has been bequeathed to the medical school by the whānau, by the families, to do this.
So, Richard, sorry. I was just going to say, you've had a lot of friends and colleagues who have walked this journey with you. What role has iwi played in the work you've done?
Well, iwi, I mean, they've always been there. My iwi, Te Āti Awa, and my hapu, Ngāti Rāhiri, they have always been there for me. You know, early on in my years when I was just going into brain research and I had done medicine and I was working in the United States doing special studies to try and learn the latest techniques for doing brain research in Harvard and MIT. And I wanted to stay longer than what my fellowship allowed, and so I needed a bit more money. So I wrote home to my dad and I said, Dad, I need some more money, and we're going to try to get some Āti Neurological Foundation. They did help. And so he wrote back and he said, listen, I've just talked to some of our close Māori friends in Waitara and Takarangi, and they have said that they want to help you. The Taranaki Māori Trust Board say they would like to help you and give you some money. And I said, Dad, I wrote back and said, Dad, I don't think I can accept this because I didn't feel that I was properly Māori. I didn't feel I really was honouring my whakapapa. And you know what they said? They said, we want to give this to you because you will come home and you will bring your messages back to your people, to your Māori people, somewhere down the line. And you know, that was the most powerful challenge ever. And they were dead right, because then when I came back and specialised, set up a big centre for brain research, I started going down to Taranaki. I started going on to Marae because we had a big whānau down there with Huntington's disease, the disease I was doing a lot of research on. And so we have gone down there. We go down there every year now.
Sir Richard Faull, a distinguished Professor of Anatomy and Director of Centre for Brain Research at Waipapa Taumatarau, the University of Auckland. It's an absolute pleasure being able to talk to you today and to look at some of your incredible work. Ngā mihi kia koe.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.